Hello coders, I welcome you all. As you know, this is the last video of 2024. I have tried my best to explain you various concepts. We will meet again in the new year. Happy New Year in advance. So let's begin. As you know, we are working on our MLOps project called Water Potability Prediction using machine learning. We have performed various experiments to find the best model. Once we identified our best model, we created a pipeline that generates the model and stores it in the MLflow model registry. However, we don't store the model directly. Instead, we have set up a CI pipeline to run several tests on the model. If the model passes the test, then only we are promoting it to the production stage in the MLflow model registry, which is hosted on desktop. After promoting the model, we fetch it and serve it using FastAPI. This ensures that only well-tested models are deployed into production. But before deployment, there is one step. We put the entire application into a container to make sure it works the same way in all environments. So we will create a container for our application, our FastAPI application, and deploy it. In the last video, we discussed the basics of Docker, created various applications, and learned how to Dockerize them. In this video, we are going to integrate the Docker concept into our water potability prediction project. As you know, we have integrated the CI concept into our project that you can see, our CI pipeline. So as you can see, we have created this CI pipeline. This is our CI workflow file. And as you know, our CI workflow is working properly. Now we are going to extend this CI workflow. We will create a Docker image for our project and deploy it. So as you know, we have created this FastAPI application. And as you can see in our application, we are loading latest model from MLflow model registry. The model which are currently in the production stage and the model which passed all the tests, right, that we have mentioned inside our CI workflow file, right, that you can see. If our model passes the test, then only we are promoting it to a production, and that we have fetched over here in our FastAPI application, right? Now let's open new terminal and let's try to run our FastAPI app one more time. For that, we have to use the following command: ubicon main, which is our application name, and instance of FastAPI, this, and reload. Let's press enter. Let's follow this link. And as you can see, our app working properly. Let's use Swagger UI and you can see. Let's click over here and let's click over here. Try it out and you can enter values for these features, right? Currently, I'm keeping it as it is, and let's press this button, execute. You can see that our FastAPI app is working properly. So we want to Dockerize this particular app that we have created earlier, our FastAPI app. As you know, to do that, we need to create a requirements.txt file first. So let's recall our Docker workflow. So as you know, we have our FastAPI app. Now we are going to create requirements.txt. After that, we will create a Docker file for our FastAPI app because we want to Dockerize it. When we build our Docker file, it creates Docker image. When we run our Docker image, it forms a container. After that, we will deploy our Docker image to Docker Hub, so anyone can use it, right? So as we discussed, we have our FastAPI app, and the next step is to create our requirements.txt. So let's move to VS Code. So as you can see in our project, this requirements.txt file is already exists, but we can't use it because it contains dependencies for the entire project that you can see. But here we only want to Dockerize our FastAPI app. And please remember, to Dockerize only the FastAPI app, we need to create a separate requirements.txt that includes only the dependencies relevant to the FastAPI app that we have created, that you can see here, right? So we need to create a separate requirements.txt that includes only the dependencies relevant to the FastAPI app. This ensures that the Docker image will be lightweight and contain only the necessary packages or dependencies for running the FastAPI application, nothing else, right? So let's create separate folder for requirements.txt because we can't use our already created requirements.txt, right? So let's click over here and let's create new folder. You can give any name. Let's give req requirement for Docker. req underscore for underscore Docker. You can give any other name as well. And in this, let's create requirements.txt. Dependencies only to run our FastAPI app, nothing else. So to run our FastAPI app, we required following dependencies: FastAPI, UVCon, Pandas, Pydantic, and ML flow. That's all. Let's save our requirements.txt. So now you can see that we have a subset of requirements.txt that helps us Dockerize our FastAPI app, right? Now let's create our main file, Docker file. Let's right click over here and new file, Docker file. Let's save this. As you can see, I have created this Docker file exactly same way as we have created earlier in our last video. Here we are using base image for our container. Here we are setting the working directory inside the container. Here we are copying the requirements file to this app directory that we have created over here inside the container. Now here we are installing dependencies, right? From the file that just we have created in this particular folder, right? Subset of our original requirements.txt. Here we are copying main to this particular folder, app means inside the container. And here we expose the application port 8000. And here we are running our FastAPI application. That's all. Let's save our file. So this is our Docker file that I have created exactly same way as we have created earlier in our last video. As you can see, our app is running. Let's press Ctrl C. Let's clear this. Now let's try to build our Docker image from our Docker file. So for that, we have to write following command: Docker build -t for tag, and you can give any name: water underscore portability underscore prediction and dot our current context. Let's press enter. You can see Docker image building process has been started. Now done. Let's clear this. So let's check on Docker desktop, and you can see currently we are on our Docker desktop and inside images. And you can see just we have created this particular image, water underscore portability underscore prediction, that you can see. As you can see, we have successfully built our Docker image from our Docker file. Now let's run our Docker image to form a Docker container. To run our Docker image, we have to write following command: Docker run -t our host port and port inside our Docker container and image name water underscore portability underscore prediction. Let's press enter. We have to wait. It will take some time. Here we have to write 127 and port number 8000. You can see our app is running properly. Also you can see our Swagger UI. Also let's check on Docker desktop inside containers. You can see our container is running. So you can see we have successfully formed our container as well. So currently our Docker image is available locally on my system. So now let's push our Docker image to Docker Hub. First, let's open Docker Hub from here. And you can see I sign in with my Gmail account. Now let's move to VS Code. Let's clear this. First, we have to write following command: Docker login. Done. Let's clear this and we have to write following command: Docker. First we have to tag water underscore portability underscore prediction, and here to make it unique, my username, and here you can give any name: water portability underscore prediction and version 1.1. Let's press enter. Done. Now let's push our image to Docker Hub. So for that we have to write following command: Docker push and this name. Let's copy and paste it over here. Let's press enter. You can see we have to wait. It will take some time. Done. Let's check here in my profile. You can see we have successfully pushed our Docker image to Docker Hub. Now anyone can pull this image and run it as a Docker container. Let me show you this. Let's move to Docker desktop. Let's open terminal. Let's clear this. And we have to write following command: this. Let's copy this. Let's paste it over here. Let's press enter, because here we have created version 1.1. Let's press enter. Now done. Let's clear this. Now let's run our Docker image to form a Docker container that just we have pulled. So refresh this and this one. You can see. For that we have to write docker run -p host port inside our Docker container and image name. Let's press enter. Now you can see this. Our container is running. So anyone can pull this image, our Docker image of our project like this and run it as a Docker container. And you can see our container is running. You can check this 127 and 8000. You can see. And also Swagger UI, right? Let's press execute and it is running properly. So now anyone can pull this image, our Docker image from the Docker Hub and run it as a Docker container that you can see. Let's terminate this and let's clear this. Now let's move on to a very important part of our project. Now we want to automate this entire process that just we have performed. So we are going to integrate this particular process with our CI workflow to automate this. So let's integrate it with our created CI pipeline with our CI workflow. And you can see just we have done all these things manually to form a Docker container and to push our Docker image to Docker Hub. But now we want to automate it through our CI workflow. So let's move to VS Code and this is our ci.yaml file. So we are going to add 3 stages to this particular file. ci.yaml, our CI pipeline. First step, to log in to Docker Hub. Second step, building the image using our Docker file. Third step, we will push our image to Docker Hub. So we are going to add these 3 steps to our CI workflow, this particular file, ci.yaml file. I'm repeating. First step, log in to Docker Hub. Second, building the image using our Docker file. Third step, we will push our image to Docker Hub. So anyone can pull it and run it as a Docker container. So these all we have to perform using our CI workflow. So you can see I have added these 3 steps that just we have discussed. First step, logging to Docker Hub. And as you can see, this is our GitHub action, which is used to log in to Docker registry. In our case, Docker Hub. So you can see this action is directly available because Docker is such a famous technology, right? And for this action, this particular action to work, we require 2 things, username and token, means Docker username and Docker token. So as you know, we have Docker username. That you know, right? Data thinkers. But now we have to create this particular token. So let's jump to Docker Hub to create this particular token. So you can see currently I'm using Docker Hub. Let's click over here and we have to move inside account settings. Here, personal access tokens. Let's click over here and you can see these many tokens are already available. So let's generate new token, water underscore portability underscore CI. You can give any other name as well. And let's make it read and write. And let's press generate. So let's copy this. Let's open Notepad and let's paste it over here. And as you know, username, data thinkers, right? So we require these 2 things to log in to Docker Hub. And as you can see here, we have used as a GitHub secret. So let's move to GitHub and let's add these 2 things as a GitHub secret. So this is our project. Let's click over here. Let's move to settings, secrets and variables, actions. Let's create new repository secret and with this name, Docker underscore user name. Let's copy, paste it over here and user name, data thinkers. That you can see, data thinkers. Let's add secret. Done. Now again, new repository secret. Here, let's copy this, Docker underscore token. Let's paste it over here and we have to use this that just we have copied from Docker Hub. Let's add as secret. And this is the proper way to use tokens in our project, right? So it's not visible to everyone. Now we have completed this step. Now here we build the Docker image and here we are using success. It ensures that it runs only if the previous steps succeed. Same over here. In our last step, we push the Docker image only if the build step was successful. This step, because here we have used success, right? And here we are pushing our image to Docker Hub. I think all done. Let's save this. Let's open terminal. Let's check Git status. You can see we have modified this many files. Let's clear this. Git add dot git commit -m docker flow. Let's press enter. Let's clear this. Git push origin master. Please remember, this is our final step. When I press enter, it will run our entire CI workflow with our DVC pipeline that you can see. This is our entire CI pipeline. Our DVC pipeline, run model test, promote model to production, and here logging to Docker Hub, build Docker image, and push image to Docker Hub. In our single click, it will perform this many tasks. Let's press enter. Now done. Let's move to actions, and you can see our workflow has been started. You can see. Let's click over here and it will perform step-by-step operations. So you can see currently it is running our CI workflow. You can see currently it is installing dependencies. Now you can see currently it is running our DVC pipeline. Let's check on ML flow. You can see current version is 10. Now done. Let's for this. You can see latest version 11 has been created through our flow. That you can see currently it is running model test. Now done. Now promoting model to production. Reload this. Now you can see our version 11 of our model inside the production because it passes all the tests. Now you can see successfully login to Docker Hub, building Docker image. That you can see. Now you can see pushing the Docker image. Just click to my profile. You can see this is my current state. Now done. Let's check. Reload this. And you can see over here. Now our Docker image is available on Docker Hub, which is generated from our CI workflow, and all done. You can see green tick. Now you can see we have successfully executed our entire CI workflow. So now anyone can pull this particular image and run it as a Docker container. Also, you can try to pull this particular image and run it as a Docker container. Now you can imagine we have started working on this project 5 to 6 months back, and all that work is combined here in our CI workflow that you can see, right? And we are executing all this work with a single press that you can see. So this is the beauty of MLOps. Now one step is still remaining, deployment, which we will do next. Now I hope you are clear on how MLOps works. I tried my best to make it simple. Hope all of you are clear with this, right? I hope you like this video. Please don't forget to subscribe this channel. If you like this video, smash that like button. Thank you very much for watching this video. Take care. Bye-bye. See you in the next video.